Hello, everybody.
Hey
Welcome
guys.
to another live stream here in the 101 group. Office hours, as we're starting to call it, that might stick. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully, everything's going all right with everyone out there, and hopefully, you guys can see us okay. My home internet here isn't holding up great, so we're going live. I've done some tests. The tests tell me I shouldn't be able to, or the speed test telling me I shouldn't be able to stream. But the test I've done with Switcher Studio, I've been holding up all right. So fingers crossed, everything's good here. We've got some great stuff to talk to you guys about today. Today we're going to be covering RTMP and how to use it, what is it, um, why to use it, all those fun things. So yeah, make sure to stick tuned to that. And provided everything holds up, I'm going to talk about what I did, my troubleshooting process on making sure that we're able to get a live stream out to you all today, even though the internet is kind of up in air. Before we get too far, though, a couple things here. Who are we? Well, I'm Dan. I'm the senior product educator here. And of course, we have Angela, our community coordinator. So thank you guys for joining us here today. The other big important part of these live streams is to answer your questions. So if you have questions, ask your questions in the comments. Love to hear what you guys have, where you guys are having problems with Switcher or live streaming in general. Angela, I have done it. We've been streaming for, gosh, I don't know, 6 or 7 years now. So uh, we can hopefully answer your questions. If not, I know we have people in the comments as well who can help you there. And if we can't figure it out, we'll get the information, get it to you. Um, Last thing, I've been liking putting these questions up on stream or on screen as well for you guys, just to kind of get the conversations going. And the question I have for you today is, what platform do you use to stream? Do you stream to Facebook? Do you use YouTube, Twitch? One of these other ones where the custom RTMP option might be necessary. So please let us know in the comments below. Um, yeah, that said, Angela, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Pretty happy that it's finally not raining outside or like rain snowing like it's been. So the sunshine is putting me in a happy mood.
Yeah, it is. It has been kind of nice today, so that is awesome. Um, cool. Well, awesome. Seeing some comments come through. Like I said, the stream looks like everything's going great here on my iPad. My computer, absolutely no internet. So I'm gonna be just using Switcher here for my to see the comments. So if I'm a little slower getting to them, that's why. But yeah, get those comments going. Let us know where you're streaming to. And that being said, let's talk about some custom RTMP, Angela. So, kind of what we're going to go over here is, what is RTMP? Like, I guess just in the general sense, how does it, or what is it? We're going to talk about how to use it with Switcher Studio and why you might want to use it. So, when to use custom RTMP. So, Angela, I'm going to go ahead and let you take it away from here on what is RTMP.
Yeah, so RTMP is how you stream from any streaming service to your intended platform. Now, when I say platform, that's anywhere like Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn. There's so many platforms out there. And it's not something that's just for Switcher Studio. If you have used any other streaming service in the past, which means anything that's not opening like the Facebook app or the YouTube app on your phone and pointing it somewhere, you've used RTMP, and we're going to show you how to set that up today. But it's basically, the address of your platform. It's how you get from A to B. So when you go live with Switcher Studio to an RTMP, that's how you're appearing on that intended platform. Now, Switcher Studio does have a few built-in integrations. So we have integrations for Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitch, and Microsoft Stream, which means we have kind of an easy button setup where you don't have to worry about RTMP unless you want to with those platforms. But do remember, if there's ever an issue going live to a platform, we always recommend trying an RTMP. A lot of times that will resolve any temporary issue that could be happening, whether it's on our end or on their end. So it's a way you can still go live. So it's good for everyone to know this process, regardless of how you plan to stream or where you plan to stream to.
Yeah, I think we should also add in there, for the techies out there, RTMP stands for Real Time Message Protocol. So, um, We should get Ernesto in here, one of our engineers. He's an expert on this and could tell you like the actual technical terms for it, or like how it actually works. My understanding is it's pretty much a handshake between the encoder, Switcher Studio in this case, and the server where we're sending the video. So it just says, hey, I'm gonna receive your video and send it out to the player. So yeah, that is what RTMP is. So how to use it is our next thing. And I have my computer screen set up here. So let me set up a 3 up here, and I've got my Facebook page up here on my computer, and I'll just show you guys where you do it on Facebook. If you search RTMP or know that the platform you're using has it, you should be able to find this as well. Live video. So I just went like I'm creating a new post, and live video is one of the options there. So I'm going to click on that, and hopefully it's going to bring up my new thing. Maybe not. Again, like I said, things are being a little funky. Here we go. Again, it's probably going to load really, really slow. But from this screen, we're going to be able to scroll down. You'll see an option to use. Here we go. So right now it's using my camera. So hey, over there from my laptop's webcam, I'm going to choose use stream key here. And right down here, you'll see the server URL and stream key. That is what you're going to need to do. So you're going to have to copy these and paste these into the platform you're using to stream from. In this case, again, Switcher Studio. You could, if you wanted to, open up Switcher Studio, click the Custom RTMP button, and try and type out the stream key letter for letter, number for number, symbol for symbol. It's going to be really difficult. So we have a much easier way. Go to switcherstudio.com, and the upper right is the login option, and that'll get you to the Switcher Studio dashboard. From here, we do have this Custom RTMP option, and if I go to Add Channel, here we go. You'll give it a name. So this is a nickname. This isn't like what's going to actually be seen. And there you go. You see the server URL and stream key. So we would just copy these from here and paste them in. And once they're pasted in, you can run a speed test if you want Switcher to figure out the best settings to use, or you can do a manual configuration. And when you click on Save Channel down here, it's going to sync automatically with Switcher. So from the Outputs tab, you'll be able to go ahead and download or see that stream come up, click it, and be able to stream to it. So it's pretty simple. Using the dashboard, I think, is the way to go. I believe Matt might have the article for this. So if you want to follow along with a written article, you can find that on support.switcherstudio.com, or maybe we can get Matt to post that in the comments as well. Cool. So yeah, that's the first 2 things we have on here. What else we got? So what was our third thing? When do you use it, Angela? You want to talk about some different options on when you would want to use this Custom RTMP option?
Yeah, so the main time we see people use it is if they're trying to stream to a platform that's not one of our 5 built integrations. So, we see if people are trying to simulcast and they're using something like Caster or Switchboard Live, they'll use it for that. There's a lot of other platforms such as churchstreaming.tv where they want to use that platform instead. Basically anything without the easy button, you would go in and find the RTMP. What we always recommend, because we'll have people write in all the time and say, can I use Switcher Studio with this platform? And the answer is, if you can find RTMP for it, you should be able to go live to it. Again, it's normally right in your settings of your platform. If you can't find it, reaching out to support on their end or looking for a help center on their end will show you how to do it. And as long as you can get those values, you're going to be good to go. I also mentioned, if you ever seem like you're having some trouble one day with one of the built integrations, give RTMP a try. Whether it's something happening temporarily on our end or on the platform's end, RTMP will normally, ease that out, so that way you can still go live to that platform that day with RTMP and then go back to the integration next time. 2 things I do want to let you guys know about. One thing is what Dan already mentioned, the dashboard's the way to go. Copying and pasting is the way to go. Most of these platforms will have the link beside stream key and server URL that says copy, I do recommend just clicking that to copy each one. It's a thing where if one little thing is out of place, it'll prevent you from going live. And we've seen something where someone tried to manually with their mouse selected, and there was accidentally a space at the end. And that prevents you from going live. So clicking copy is the way to go. Another thing we've seen is some platforms have what they call RTMP with authentication. And this means that you have the stream key and the server URL, but it also wants you to put in a username and a password. Now, we do not have sections for authentication on ours. Probably the most common I see this is for people trying to stream to Decast. And what I recommend for that is kind of a two-step process. The easiest is to write to their support, let them know that there's not an authentication method available for the service they're trying to use. And a lot of these platforms can actually turn that off, where you don't need the username or password. For the rare cases where they can't disable it, you have to have username or password. We recommend using a service like Caster. You don't have to simulcast with it. Just simply make a channel in there. You can drop in that authentication. And then with Switcher Studio, stream to Caster. So it's going to be Switcher Studio, Caster, your platform, and that's it. But of course, the first and easiest option is just asking, can you disable the authentication? And most people will say yes.
So, Angela, you kind of started getting into, I see a great question here from Rebecca that's on topic here. And she asked, can I use the RTMP to go live on multiple platforms? And the answer to that is yes, you can. Basically doing what Angela was just talking about. Angela, do you want to cover simulcasting a little bit?
Yeah, so for anyone who, is not familiar with this, simulcasting is going live to multiple platforms at the same time. So if you want to hit, let's say, your YouTube channel and your Twitch channel at the same time with the same content. So what you would need to do is to have, a secondary service like Caster or Switchboard Live or Restream or anything like that. And those allow you to either log into multiple platforms or to put in multiple RTMPs. So for instance, you would log in to your YouTube channel and your Twitch channel on, let's say, Caster. That's probably the most popular one we see people using. And then Caster gives you an RTMP link. So just as Dan showed with the Facebook process, you would go to your Switcher Studio dashboard, drop in the links to Caster, and what's going to happen is you're going to go live on the Switcher Studio app. It's going to send your stream to Caster, and then Caster is going to send that stream out to both YouTube and Twitch at the same time, so you're live on both at the same time. Now, I do want to let people know, since that is that process, you do need a little bit more bandwidth for what's happening when you are simulcasting. So keep that in mind. Also, if Facebook is one of the places you're streaming to, but you're simulcasting, you're not going to see the comments come up. If you are streaming to Facebook, normally, whether it's RTMP or with the integration, you're able to see the live comments. If you're streaming technically to Caster first, you're not going to have those pop up on our end. So you are going to have to monitor your comments on Facebook.com and anywhere else that you're streaming to. But it is a very simple process. We see people ask, Facebook and YouTube, I think, are the most popular they're trying to simulcast to. And Caster.io is probably the most popular source we see for that.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Angela. And yeah, I've got this lower third here, guys. Ask your questions in the comments. This is a great time to get any questions. It doesn't have to be just about RTMP or, simulcasting or that kind of stuff. It can be anything Switcher related, and we'd be happy to answer those questions now. I do see another one kind of on topic here from Bert, who says, can I use RTMP on the Essentials level?
Yes. So RTMP can be used on all levels of service, including on a trial. So if you're on the Essentials plan, you're still able to create these RTMP channels and stream wherever you want using RTMP. So that is something we've included for all levels of service for you guys.
Yeah, and Rebecca says thank you Thank
You're
you, Rebecca,
welcome.
for tuning in. Yeah. And I think I see Matt in there is putting in a couple different articles about that. So thank you, Matt. Um, I'm going to give you guys a few more minutes if you want to ask some questions in the comments. I saw that there was quite a few people watching, but not a ton of questions here today. So yeah, we'll give you a couple more minutes, and I'm gonna, because that's all we have for RTMP. It really is a cool feature and just another way to do things. But while we're here, let's talk about, at the beginning of the show, I said, I'm not sure how things are going to go because the internet's not great here, but so far it's been holding up great. And I want to talk about my troubleshooting process, or what I went through to make sure that we would have a good stream today. So a couple things that you can do, or what I did is was having blazing internet speeds all day until about 3 o'clock when I was setting everything up, and I was getting on my computer, it was showing me less than a megabit download, and I wasn't even getting to the upload portion, which is the most important for streaming. So what I did was I first limited the number of devices on my network. So I made sure to disconnect everything else. Typically, if you watch these shows in the past, you know that I like to have my phone as the camera for me, and it's usually put up. I don't know how I can make this be in screen, but yeah, put up right over there. I'm actually using the built-in camera because that's one less thing that had to be connected. I knew I needed to show RTMP or show the my computer screen, so I had that going. But those are the only two things running switcher that we needed. So taking away devices from that network is the first thing I did. The next thing I did was I prioritized my iPad that I'm using to stream. I prioritize that on my network. I use the Google Wi-Fi setup, so you can just open their app and you can set priorities for different devices, and that's exactly what I did. Where I went in and I prioritized the iPad, so before anything else gets internet in the house, or that's the main one. That's what we need right now. So that was the second thing I did, and then of course the third is just try it. I did probably 2 or 3 live streams to my personal Facebook page just as a private test stream, so only I can see it. I did it first just with me, and then I waited. I don't even think Angela knew I was live, but I went live when she was connected too, just to make sure that went well. And both of those were going great. So those are a few tips, at least, for how to mitigate risks with your network when it's being a little weird. The other thing to look out for is when you're live, up next to the stop button or the record button, it'll show up and it'll show you an indicator for how long you've been live. And next to that is a little dot, and that dot will change yellow or red. It should be green for a good stream. And if it goes yellow or red, then you know your network is starting to slow down and drop out. So if you see that happening, that's a good time to be like, okay, maybe I need to wrap this up sooner. Maybe I need to disconnect and reconnect. Again, try and get more things off the network if possible. Maybe you're watching the stream back on a computer next to it and monitoring those comments. You can stop that just so that main iPad or iPhone, whatever you're using to stream, has all the priority to go streaming live. Yeah, so that's how we're doing this right now. Like I said, this isn't exactly the best angle that I want to do, but hey, it's working for us, so that's what we're sticking with. Angel, do you have any tips on? I'm putting you on the spot here. This is not something we discussed about when we're here, but any tips when just to ensure that your stream's going perfect?
Yeah. So a few things I've done. So my router is on the main floor of our house, which normally is perfect. But the problem is my personal office is in the basement. So there are times where the internet is spotty because it has to go all the way from A to B. So one thing I did is I have a very long Ethernet cable. I got it for about $10 on Amazon a few years ago. It's a 60-foot. Just spent a weekend, kind of taped it up out of the way, looped it to the basement. So anytime, I'm a guest on video chat or doing my own streams, I know I've got the best internet connection possible. Another thing is just communicating with others in your home. So how Dan said, getting things out of the network. I do have other people in my home, so letting them know, hey, I'm going to be on a stream from X time to X time. Can you minimize how much internet you're using? So don't have 50 things running at the same time. Try not to be doing your own stream. I made that mistake with my husband one time. We killed each other's streams.
Oh no.
Try to coordinate it. Another thing, I'm sure there's a lot of people like me out there. I'm notorious for not restarting my computer and also not closing tabs. And so, a thing for me is before I go live, close any tab I know I no longer need, and then just do a quick restart on the computer. It's amazing how much better things work when they haven't been running for 3 weeks straight. So it's kind of something I've lodged into my brain. And this is for, if you're editing any kind of video on your computer as well, before you do anything video related, do a restart and your life is so much better.
Yes, that's a great idea. And something I liked someone in the comments. I'm guessing it was Matt. It just says Facebook user. I think that's just from his security settings. But said he restarts everything before, or I reset all of everything before I start. So yeah, kind of what you're saying. Restart the computer, restart your router, all that stuff. For anyone interested in connecting Ethernet to an iPad or an iPhone, that's what I was kind of looking around when Angela was talking there to find the stuff. Apple makes these. I have to remember where the camera is. So this is just an Ethernet port to USB. And then they have things like this. This is the one for Lightning. So if your device has Lightning, this would work for it. And it has the USB port and then an Ethernet slot, or not an Ethernet, a charging slot. So you can charge your device, which you'll need to do, and also plug this in. And with these, adapters on adapters, we like to make fun of all the adapters, but heck, it works. So what can we say? But yeah, that's a way that you can get internet or Ethernet into your iOS devices. I would show you the multi-port adapter, which you would use for the USB-C new iPads, but that is currently what I'm using right now to bring my audio in. So I can't show you that one, but that's another one. It's pretty much the same exact connections.
And I also recommend, when it comes to any kind of adapter, the cords you have more freedom with, but when it comes to adapter, get the main name brand product from the manufacturer. So
Yes.
Get your Apple adapters from Apple. I personally am an Amazon junkie. I buy most stuff from Amazon, but I've tried Amazon adapters. They either don't work or they'll work for about a month and then die on you midstream. So, even
Yes.
though it is a little bit more expensive to get them from Apple, you then have products that are going to last you for years, as opposed to, I just bought this last week and now it doesn't work anymore. It can also affect the quality of your stream if you're using an off-brand adapter. So
Yep.
make sure you always go for the max on your adapters, and you'll thank yourself later for it.
Yes, for sure. I put this up. This is Matt here. And we have a funny story about this one. He says, all of my kids always want to play online games when I try to be live. Yeah, that's a funny kind of related story. One of our other team members, Ryan, was doing a live stream recently, and where I was talking about you can go into the settings and disable different devices or minimize the number of devices on the network. He actually went in and disabled the Roku TV, and his young son, wasn't able to watch Curious George and apparently had an epic meltdown. So yes, the communication with people in your family is definitely important, especially in today's day and age when we're all doing the stuff from home. Great. Okay, so I saw a question I want to get to from a little bit ago from Bert, who said, is there a rule of thumb as to how much internet you need per phone to broadcast? The number of phones should not matter as much. As far as it's really the upload speed, it was just personally like what I was experiencing. I just wanted to minimize the number of devices on the network. But typically for streams, I think, Matt, if you're still here and could put in that article, I don't want to say it exactly wrong, but that's another good thing you could do to ensure that your stream is going really well, is lower the quality of the stream depending on your upload speeds. So I want to say for a 1080p stream, you're going to want about 8 megabits of upload speed. At least. Now remember, those fluctuate some, so if you're like right at that threshold, I would always go to the next one down, just because you're going to get better results. 720, I think you want to get around 5. You can probably, for the 540 stream or medium quality, you can probably get by with like 2.5. And then low 1.8 is where I would like to be when I'm streaming. So great question, but yeah, it really, how much internet you need per phone that you have connected, I think that's really going to depend on the router you're using. So if you're using a lower quality home router that's 10 years old or something, it's probably not going to be able to handle all those requests at the same time. Versus if you have something newer. Like I said, I'm using the Google Nest router is what we're using right now to stream with. And I have a couple Google Pucks as well connected to that, just to make the Wi-Fi bubble reach the whole house. But yeah, that's less going to be about the speed and more about the equipment you're using. But that's a great question.
One thing I'll add to that as well is depending on where you live and how your internet's connected, you might also want to look into time of day. You know, a lot of people have internet still. It's this way on my street right now where it feeds off the same line to multiple houses. So there are certain times of day where my internet is much better than other times, just depending on when my neighbors are connected. So I can do a much more robust stream in early morning or early evening, whereas, you know, afternoon when like we are now, people are usually doing meetings, working from home, or late night when everyone's just relaxing on the internet. It's harder to get that robust stream. A lot of times for those, I end up doing a 720 one camera, whereas if I want to go live at 8 in the morning, I can pretty much do whatever I want. So, also look into how your neighborhood acts, and you can kind of plan out your streams that way as well.
Great advice there as well, Angela. Lisa had a question here. Which iPhones are compatible to the Ethernet adapter? Any of them are going to be available. I think most of them out there right now at least have the Lightning. So if they have the Lightning, then this adapter here, this is called the USB. I think it's called the Lightning camera adapter, because when everybody, instead of using their phones for cameras, still had, like the big point and click shoot, or what are they called? Compact cameras, I guess. There's a specific word I'm looking for I can't find, but you'd be able to plug that into here, and that's what they were originally used for. But now it's kind of like a USB hub for your iPads or iPhones. So anything that has the Lightning will work with this, and then this adapter here. So good question there. And again, like some of the newer iPads are using USB-C, and those will work fine as well. It's just a different adapter. You'll need to get the multi-port adapter. So those are some great questions. Thank you all for tuning in and joining us here today. I think that's going to be it for us right now. Just a nice quick 30-minute stream in and out. Lisa coming in again. Cool. Thanks. Thank you, Lisa, for tuning in. And thank you, everybody else, for tuning in. Thank you, Matt, for giving us some help there in the comments as well. And Angela, as always, thank you for joining me. Hopefully we get a few more of these in with you before you're enjoying a new type of life. But can we talk about that or no?
Yeah. I know some people on Switcher have already, Switcher users have found out, because it's my profile picture now. I am having my first child really anytime now. So official due date is March 1st. So I will be here for streams with you guys until I'm going to skedaddle away for a couple months, and then I'll be back. While I'm out, me being me, I'm probably just going to hop in the comments every now and then and say, hey, but we're still going to be doing streams, while I'm on maternity leave. Dan's going to be bringing in some other great members of the team. So you're not losing me permanently, but I will be skedaddling away for a little bit to enjoy my little son.
Just don't do it while we're live, Angela. That would be
I will try.
That would be a good story. That would be, and that would, I feel like par for the course for you who likes to be on camera would work out really well.
My husband is the head manager in one of the restaurants in town. And this weekend is Super Bowl Sunday, and it's their busiest day of the year. And he said any day but Super Bowl Sunday. So I keep joking it's going to be Super Bowl Sunday. We'll
Oh,
see
of
what
course.
happens. But
Great. So that's it. If you guys still have questions, please put those in the comments. Lisa says congratulations. So,
oh, thank
um,
you.
yeah, if you still have questions, please leave them in the comments, and we'll make sure to go back and answer all those. You can also get information at our in our help center, that which is support.switcherstudio.com, or email us. You'll talk to Angela, me, Teddy, Asia, Jared, JC, anyone on the CX team you could be getting. And that's at support@switcherstudio.com, is a good way to do this. And yeah, that's going to be it, guys. So thank you everyone again for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
See you guys.